David Beckham, one of the most illustrious careers in modern-day football. From humble beginnings in Leytonstone to playing for Goliaths such as Manchester United, Real Madrid, AC Milan, and Paul Ince, Mark Hughes, and Andrei Kanchelskis most notably.
He always was a marvellous boy, and when he joined us at 12 years of age, he had this fantastic ambition to be a footballer, which I loved. And he was part of that great squad we got through, the group we got through with Giggs and Scholes and the Nevilles and Nicky Butt, Ben Thornley. It was a wonderful period for Manchester United.
Look back on the great times that we had together as 6 young lads that started out, all we wanted to do was play football for Man United, and we fulfilled that dream.
He's the one who taught us how to play football the Manchester United way, taught us how to handle ourselves on and off the pitch, along with others, you know, and Brian Kidd as well, these kind of people, but Eric was special.
No, it was. I think we were quite lucky in all coming through together at a time when it was a young person's type of boom, really, and that fresh new Tony Blair era where they were giving youth a chance and they wanted to invest in youth, and it was the end of coming out of recession, and we was part. We played we was part of that new regime that was coming through, and we were quite lucky.
There was also Oasis, there was also Stone Roses, Hacienda, you know, all of these things, great things going on that's part of history in Manchester, and we lived through it, so it was so special.
We came into a Man United team that was already successful and already had great players and a great manager, and we were just playing a small part in it.
Playing alongside club legends such as Eric Cantona, Andy Cole, and Peter Schmeichel, it wasn't long before Beckham made an impact. With a deep history in English football, United gave Beckham the perfect environment to improve his skills. Under the guidance of Sir Alex Ferguson, Beckham had solidified his place as a first-team player. By the 96-97 season, Beckham had won the Premier League with Man United and the PFA Young Player of the Year award. And it wasn't long before he received his England call-up. 30th of June 1998, England were to face Argentina in the FIFA World Cup last 16.
Regretfully, you will have heard that my contract with the FA has been terminated by mutual consent.
By 1998, Beckham had won 10 trophies with Man United. However, nothing would prepare him for the 98-99 season.
A day and a half still to go till the big match, but at Manchester Airport, fans have been queuing to leave since 3 o'clock this morning. Police now say that up to 50,000 of the Red Army will be making the journey to support their heroes, with only about 35,000 tickets officially allocated. The rest say they're going simply for the atmosphere. Authorities believe they'll make this the biggest ever exodus of British fans abroad to watch a single football match. And it's through Manchester Airport today and tomorrow that the majority are making their way.
This is the busiest 4 days in the airport's history. We've got 225 additional flights over the next 4 days and about 30,000 additional passengers.
Sold my car to get here, I've chucked everything I have to get here, you know. It's just one of them things, you've just got to be there. You'd miss it if you didn't turn up.
It's history. It's a one-off match, isn't it? So we'll just probably never happen again.
Bound for Barcelona then, hoping their heroes will make that piece of footballing history and claim a unique treble.
Thousands of Manchester United fans have invaded Barcelona, and some are waiting for kick-off. They've come here from all over the world.
Where have you come from to watch this match?
Punjab, India.
All the way from India, why?
That's right. Well, Man United supporters, lived in England, so this is a unique opportunity, so I've come down to support the lads.
Is it worth coming all the way?
Absolutely, if you're passionate about your team, you follow them wherever they are.
With the clock ticking down to kick-off, the excitement continues to rise here in Barcelona. Wherever you go, there's a sea of fans who seem to have taken over the city ahead of the final. Both Manchester United and Bayern Munich will have 30,000 inside the ground. Thousands more who can't get in say they just want to be here to soak up the atmosphere.
Fantastic. Absolutely superb. Yeah, it's a joy to be here.
I mean, the atmosphere alone is worth coming for. It's superb. And the weather and everything is great.
Soaking up the atmosphere in Barcelona, aren't you?
There's still no official word about the fitness of David Beckham. He finished training with his right leg heavily strapped. He says he'll be fine. It's the only fitness doubt Alex Ferguson has to deal with before he names his side for the biggest match in his career.
With Beckham match fit, United set off to Barcelona with the hopes of doing the unimaginable, dreaming of once again bringing the European Cup back to Old Trafford. However, their dreams were quickly challenged when Bayern Munich's right midfielder Mario Basler scored a low-driven free kick, beating Peter Schmeichel at the far post after 6 minutes.
And at half-time, United 0, Bayern Munich 1.
With 3 minutes of added time and 1 goal down, United needed a miracle. Rising to the challenge, a 24-year-old David Beckham steps up to take 2 corners with his trademark whip.
The impossible just became reality.
I was flat after the game because I just couldn't believe it. And when I got back to the hotel and saw my family, then I was able to enjoy it then.
1999 marked a turning point in Beckham's career. After winning the Champions League to complete the illustrious treble with Man United, the only time an English club has completed the feat.
92 to 99, if you can pick just one moment.
Winning a treble. It doesn't get any better than that.
Unbelievable. You can't beat it. Never experienced anything like that in our life.
You can't describe it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Happiest day of my life. Happiest day of my life.
He's right up there alongside my son being born.
Well, I think the big problem for me.
With Beckham back from injury, his dreams of revenge against the Argentines were closer than ever. When England drew Argentina in the group stage of the competition.
And H1 for Japan. Argentina. England.
However, not everyone was optimistic about the draw.
With Argentina, well, it's about time things turned in favour for us. So a bit of luck, a bit of hard work, and I think we'll probably make the most of it.
Sweden. We've not beaten them for a long time. Sweden. They're a better team than us.
When we got Nigeria, I did think of all the teams in Africa, to land Nigeria was completely unfair. They're the best team out there, so we've picked the best in South America, the best in Africa, and a reasonably good European team. I mean, had we had France as well, that really would have been a bit tough.
He was off for some training, a fairly gentle and relaxed affair today, with Beckham sporting the latest of the Mohicans. And the news from the camp is all are fit and well.
I'm going to watch it now.
You're on your way?
Yeah. And I'm missing the first half, but I'll see the second half when I get in.
England's going to win about 1-0.
It wasn't long before Beckham was given the chance at revenge. On the 7th of June, 2002, England played Argentina yet again, when on the stroke of the half, England received a penalty. And who else to take it other than Beckham?
Waned and went down a bit. I always remember one of the managers saying to me, how is he going to get Beckham and Giggs to run up and down that pitch as wide players and produce such quality? I said, because desire and ability. And when David went off that level, I had to judge whether, that it was affecting the performance of the team and also the control of the team.
Following his return from the metatarsal injury, Sir Alex Ferguson opted to go with the second-string right winger, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ole was one of these rare human beings that watched every game and he took the notes in every training session. And it was obviously his desire was later on to be a coach, obviously. But it's also more than that. It's about trying to be the best you possibly can be and giving himself the best chance and taking all the notes down in the training sessions and watching when he was a sub. I used to say to the scouts, to the substitutes thereafter, referring to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, watch the game. Watch the game. Don't be having a glance round the stadium or chatting to each other during the game. Watch the game, and that's what Ole did.
Often said of you, about your temper and the hairdryer treatment. You say in the book, I had terrible mood storms, and I would sometimes go home fearing the consequences. Do you regret those outbursts?
No, I think we are.
What about the football boot incident with Beckham? That was a loss of temper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an accident, yeah. But it happened, and I would have forgotten a bit, but and the fact it was David, it was going to end up in the papers, wasn't it? I mean, there was no way out. And of course, it became a bit of an issue at the time.
Though details were sketchy, United manager Alex Ferguson admitted he had kicked the boot, accidentally striking Beckham. At the time, both sides were keen to play it down.
It was an incident which was a freakish. If I tried it 100 times or 1,000,000 times, it could not happen again. If I did it, I carried on playing.
I think he should go. I can't understand why they want to get rid of him. The lad's totally devoted to United, he always has been. And it's not going to be easy to replace that with some foreigner.
I came from Greece and I want Beckham to stay in Manchester.
It would seem on the surface to be a very serious conflict of interest. Obviously, so much money is earned by progress in the Champions League, and maybe Manchester United don't believe they'll play Real Madrid short of the final. But the whole thing is full of oddities. It's almost as if Manchester United have acted like a very desperate seller to court a very reluctant buyer.
It's the worst bit, very worst bit of management I've ever seen. He's won everything at United. There's nothing more he can win. And he's gone from one world-class team to another.
May well be a situation, last game of the group, for instance, where were United not to win the game against another rival, that would allow Real Madrid to go through. Now, I'm not suggesting any question of impropriety, but if that happens, certainly questions will be asked. And that's the last thing United need at the moment, is UEFA on their back.
Backhanded, really, isn't it? It's all been done behind everybody's back.
Beckham never wanted to leave Manchester United. I think he was pushed out, so...
You don't get the wrong side of Alex Ferguson. I mean, that's what this episode shows, and it's happened again and again to players. If they annoy Ferguson, they're out the door. He never speaks to them again. They have to leave United.
Starting to get a thought now that you could win this World Cup, David?
Well, we're not even thinking about that at the moment, to be honest. We'll let other people do that, because I'm sure other people will be getting sort of carried away with that.
Brazil is going to be very difficult, but if we can do then, that's it.
If they can get past Brazil, then go the whole way. But obviously that's a bit of an if, but there's a good chance. There's a good chance. So we'll be there in the final. Absolutely. Bring on Brazil. Next round, bring on. World Cup's ours, I think. Yeah. It's coming on.
If it is Brazil, it promises to be an epic encounter. England have never beaten them when it matters. But this is the World Cup, when you should never say never.
What we're looking at is there's 3 more games to World Cup final, and hopefully if we can play like we have done, then you never know.
Are we getting better as a side? Are you pleased with the way we're getting better?
I think we're getting better and better, and you see that when there comes up those difficult games, we are ready.
After a monumental win against Argentina, knocking them out of the World Cup, England had a lackluster remainder of the tournament, beating Denmark in the last 16 to ultimately be knocked out by eventual winners Brazil. After a catastrophic error from goalkeeper David Seaman saw Ronaldinho score a 40-yard free kick.
Seaman left the stadium still tearful without speaking, but his captain was quick to jump to his defence.
I think if he gets made a scapegoat, I think it's an absolute disgrace, because I think he's been the best goalkeeper in this tournament, and the goal that they did score, I think that it was a fluke goal, but you know, the Brazilians are They're great players, and as I said, I hope they go on to win the tournament now. David's a world-class keeper. No one's putting the blame on him or any of the other players. You know, it's just one of them things.
I wouldn't put any blame on David Seaman or any goalkeeper that happened to. I've never seen a corner kick taken like that. It was whipped with more pace and accuracy than I've ever seen.
David is, a fantastic professional. You know, he's been there, for England, over the years and made fantastic saves for club and country.
What can you say? I think we deserved it.
We'll be back. What are we going to do? We'll win the Euros.
They burnt a Brazilian shirt, cheered as if England had won. For others, silent thoughts and soft words of consolation.
So as the team kit was being loaded this evening for the flight home, Sven-Göran Eriksson spoke of how he's told his players to think of the future.
So I told them that I think 90–95% of you sitting here today, very sad with the head down, you have a big chance to be in it in 4 years' time.
4 years later, the England squad set off to the 2006 World Cup with high hopes.
This airline's used to flying the flag, but today that job fell to its most famous passenger. Lots of luck, David, but get back to your seats. The other captain wants to get moving. Mr. D. Beckham, Mr. S.G. Eriksson, and 22 of the most talented footballers England has produced for a generation.
However, despite the squad's potential, unfortunately, the spotlight wasn't on them.
And we'll block the question.
But Sven, there are reports coming out of Sweden today suggesting you are going to quit after the game tomorrow. Would you set the record straight, please?
Nick?
No.
Let's get on the game, please. No answer, no questions apart from the football match today.
Launching the FA's All Together Now campaign today, the England boss has written the intro to a government-sponsored World Cup guidebook, which tries to address the problem of anti-German sentiment among English fans.
It's important that we behave on the pitch and off the pitch. We want to make good public relation for England as a football team and as a football fan.
On top of the uncertainty around Sven-Göran Eriksson, England fans were once again being singled out for their behaviour abroad.
Well, I know that English people don't expect that we have a good sense of humor in Germany, but I'm sure it's still an issue of sport and of fun, of making party, and they won't take it for serious, I'm sure.
What you're seeing here, you're seeing people who've been drinking all day. It's over 30 degrees here. It's absolutely scorching hot. And these people, both the English and German fans, have been drinking since 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. And you will always have this sort of baiting and taunting and teasing of the opposition fans.
Do you think that references to Germany's Nazi past, to the Second World War, will cause offence now to German fans?
It might be offensive for some of the people, mostly elderly people, I think.
The British police told them not to do it, as did the German police. The FA pleaded with them as well, but by mid-afternoon 10 German bombers had made its debut. Inflatable Spitfires were also on view. The City Hall came under sustained attack from fans punting footballs at the windows. The police did nothing about it, so we went to see what the mayor's office made of it all.
They were aiming footballs at the windows of the City Hall. I mean, it's not very respectful.
My colleague throws a ball back so that they can play down on the ground again.
England's first footballing challenge came in the quarter-finals against a prime Portugal team.
Everything has to be right tomorrow. In another way, it's difficult because Portugal has a fantastic team. We know that, and individual skill, good organized. It's a very good team with pace, good technique. So everything has to be right. You have to keep the ball attacking, you have to defend well. In other way, you don't win quarterfinals in a World Cup.
Convinced this time the curse of the quarter-final would be broken. But it was the curse of the red card that struck first. fury and despair in equal measure as Rooney trudges on. England's fighting efforts with 10 men, so reminiscent of Argentina 8 years ago. By the end, the crowd were glad to have hung on for penalties, though all but the youngest perhaps should have known better. Hargreaves briefly had them believing that this time it would be different. But for Lampard and then Gerrard to miss, the nightmare was recurring. No matter how many times England fans go through this, it doesn't get any easier.
And I'm sorry for the team. I'm sorry for the squad. I'm sorry for the fans. Really sorry, because I think with all the fans we have out there, they deserve to have a team in the semi-final or in the final.
He'll tell you all about it. He'll tell you all about it, what it means.
I don't know what it is about penalties. I don't know what it is about having players sent off. It just seems to happen every time to us.
England team went on to lose the match on penalties. The next day, Beckham faced the press in an interview that shocked the world.
If you bear with me, because I wrote this late last night, and on November 15th, 2000, Peter Taylor gave me the greatest honour of my career in making me captain of England and fulfilling my childhood dream. Now, almost 6 years later, having been captain for 58 of my 95 caps, I feel the time is right to pass on the armband as we enter in a new era under Steve McClaren. This decision has been the most difficult of my career to date. But after discussing it with my family and the closest to me, I feel the time is right.
I spoke with David last Monday, notified him of my decision and said that I was planning for the future, looking to change things, looking to go in a different direction, and David wasn't included.
Looking for the way perhaps he's feeling right now.
I think, I think any questions on David Beckham is rather unfair on the new captain.
As the English squad changed its structure, so...
If he had asked my advice about leaving Real Madrid to go to LA Galaxy, I would have told him exactly what I thought. How can you leave Real Madrid to go to LA Galaxy, you know?
A far cry from the hostile hooligan culture of European football, the MLS has a more family-friendly atmosphere. With Beckham seemingly set by the wayside by European football, he set himself the goal of increasing the popularity of the MLS.
I want to achieve something that is definitely possible within the fact of raising the profile of the MLS and raising the profile of soccer as a sport. You know, I'm not silly enough to sit up here and say that it's going to be bigger than baseball, basketball, American football and ice hockey, you know, because I'm never going to say it is going to be. But the decision to join the Galaxy wasn't hard, because I've been to LA, I've met the owners of the Galaxy, I've become friends with the owners of the Galaxy, and I think there's a huge opportunity out there, and as Tim said, I think that with me it's about the football. That's what I'm all about. I'm coming there to make a difference, I'm coming there to play football, and that's the biggest thing for me.
Has Fabio Di Canello talked to you about the importance of staying for life? Is that something that's discussed?
No, it's not at all. You know, it's just something that when I first was thinking about going on loan, obviously I asked his advice of you know, his experience on where I should go and where I should play, and he said, you know, all I can say to you is play at the highest level, and obviously I hope I'm doing that. I think I'm doing that.
In July 2009, in hopes of keeping his World Cup dream alive, Beckham made a shock move to AC Milan in an effort to get back into top-tier football.
Obviously, being at AC Milan now, it gives me more of a chance to be at that higher level, to play at international level, which is always important. But no, we'll see. We'll see. I'm enjoying being with the squad at the moment, and hopefully it continues.
Bex is a fantastic footballer. Everyone knows that his capabilities as a player. It's just about him being fit. I think the manager said, if I'm right in seeing what he said in the media, and he looks to be doing that now at Milan. He looks very happy. He looks like he's enjoying his football. There's a zest about him, and speaking to him since we've been here, he seems like he's having the time of his life. So, as I said, his quality is undoubted, and he's a great member of the squad.
Just how much has that move to Milan improved your game, do you think?
I think it's improved my fitness more than anything else, because I said when I first arrived in Dubai with Milan, my body fat was 13.7 and now it's 8.5, I think. So, I think it was more about the fitness side than anything else.
And also I think towards the end he probably did miss the big time football. And that's a decision he made himself. Maybe in years to come he'll look back and say, well, maybe I should have stayed with Real Madrid, whatever.
Your lawyers aren't talking to the MLS, but we understand that Milan are talking to the MLS and the Galaxy. Is that correct?
I would think so by now. They are, yeah, because both clubs know my feeling on staying here in Milan now, and it's just it's out of my hands now. It's down to obviously both teams.
I mean, he's not getting any younger. I mean, there's a lot of competition around these days.
Fabio Capella's told English TV that he thinks David Beckham's probably too old now. If that is the case, how do you think David Beckham will be remembered as an England player?
Legendary status, without a doubt. I think he's put a long shift in as an England player, some fantastic performances, some fantastic goals, memories, and he was a fantastic captain. I've learnt a lot off David, and it's been a pleasure to play alongside him. And if he has played his last game, he's certainly been missed, because both on and off the pitch he's a great guy.
He's the sort of player who's proved everybody wrong before when people have written him off at club and international level, so you never know.
Yeah, you never know with David.
Fabio Capella's got to look to the World Cup, and it remains to be seen how he sees David's role, whether he sees him as a permanent member of his first team, or whether he sees him as a squad player and is going to use him in a substitute capacity.
Yes. There's been a lot of debate about the future of David Beckham in the England setup. If he plays in February, it will be his 100th cap. He's also said he wants to play on through to the next World Cup. Is he guaranteed to get his 100th cap? And do you see him going forward to play as long as the next World Cup?
Io credo, ho avuto un rapporto contrastato con David.
He had a contrasting relationship with David Beckham at Real Madrid, but in the end he actually demonstrated to be a great man and a great player. He's also the kind of person who Fabio believes when he sets himself something, he will achieve it, and so you never know. But obviously, Mr. Capello will have to make choices. He believes that basically David's behaviour is important. However, there is obviously still over a month until the first game, so there's plenty of time for these important decisions to be made.
One David Beckham! There's only one David Beckham!
Welcome to Paris and the David Beckham Tribute Show.
For what he's done for his country over the past 10 years, he's fantastic.
I hope he does get a good reception. I expect it for him. In my opinion, it's all about Beckham. 100th cap, he deserves it.
Beckham soon earned his 100th England cap, presented to him by not still uncertain.
When Fabio Capello swept into Soho Square, he made it clear he had little time for sentimentality, saying players would be picked on form and fitness, not star status. If David Beckham steps out on this pitch in the country he once called home, he'll equal a record that'll see him further propelled into the history books, ensuring that although he wants to leave the Galaxy, his star will keep on rising.
He was to start on Wednesday. It would be his 100th start for England, and obviously his 108th cap. He's putting, let's imagine, Bobby Moore's record. I mean, what sort of achievement is that, do you think, if he was done this?
Just to get to 100 is an unbelievable achievement, but then to equal a man of the stature of Bobby Moore is just phenomenal. And
I'm sure Bex in his wildest dreams would never imagine that as a kid putting on his boots when he was a 7-8-year-old, I'm sure.
The headlines tomorrow may well be about race, but Beckham will be hoping it's his race to glory instead. His rejuvenation at AC Milan has seen him brought back into the England team on merit, and now all the talk is about equalling Bobby Moore's record of 108 caps.
We've talked about Steven Gerrard, we've talked about Wayne Rooney, we haven't mentioned David Beckham yet, so we ought to get onto that.
No, I think you never ask me about Slovakia, Ukraine, always Gerrard, Rooney, Redman, no question, the others.
Do you sense a fitter David Beckham, a David Beckham that can realistically go on to 2010 now?
Yeah, Rooney, Beckham is a very good moment. I watched it on TV the last 3 games that he played with AC Milan. It's a good moment of form. He play always the first 11, and I check him here during the training. It's a very, very good moment for him.
I mean, anybody gets over 100 caps, especially an outfield player, it's a fantastic achievement. And at one point, we didn't think David was going to get 100, having been left out by McLaren and then going to the States.
You've lost Lennon and Hargreaves, still no David Beckham. Why?
I feel that we've got other players that can come in and can do the job, and look into the future to do that. He's rejuvenated really, and since Fabio Capello's brought him back into the squad, and obviously you know, it looks as though he's going to get to that landmark.
David, last time was obviously all about equalling Bobby Moore. This time it's about becoming the most capped outfield player ever for England. Can you even fathom what that means?
No, you know, every time I meet up with England, it's a huge honour. Every player feels like that when they meet up with a squad. But you know, to be on the amount of caps in the games that I am at the moment, you know, is a great honour for me, of course. But you know, I think that every time that I personally meet up with a team, you know, it's a bonus, because being on probably 94, 95 caps, I never expected to make 100, and then obviously making 100, people expected me to retire then. So, you know, to be on 108 now and hopefully get to 109, you know, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think he's had a lot of challenges all through his career, and he seems to have come through them all, flying colours. People said he was finished a couple of years ago. He's come back and he's an integral member of the squad still. So Bex is a fantastic footballer. Everyone knows that his capabilities as a player.
I think as a player, and you know, played with Bex and trained with him, and realised how much this means to him. You know, I think it's easy for people to shoot people down when they're at the very top, and for many years Bex has been at the top and still is. You know, he's always been one of the best players in the world. I think it's easy for people to try and kick him and knock him down, but they've not succeeded. And he's one of the best, and that's why he's up there and still in the England squad.
You know, I want to have a chance of being involved in 2010, and I believe obviously my best chance of doing that would be by staying here. But you know, like I said, it's out of my hands now. It's just I hope it can be sorted, but we'll see.
The woes of Rustenburg have been forgotten in Cape Town. This is now considered the real start of England's World Cup campaign. The turnout has even impressed FIFA, which is rapidly revising its downbeat estimate of how many foreign fans would come.
It seems that we are on the way to have 500,000 international visitors coming to South Africa.
So more of a success than you'd hoped for?
I think more than anyone has expected from this World Cup, even us.
But England's definitely winning the war for territory. Cape Town is decked out in red and white.
You've got to get there early, like with flag and axe, so you've got to get there early, get the flag up, otherwise you lose all the best spaces.
The world's biggest England shirt has even made it here, a sign of the huge expectations that 2010 will live up to the past.
We're at our best when our backs are to the wall, and I think the lads will make sure that they rub a few noses in it after this one.
They know this is make or break time for England, but they're convinced the team will light up the Cape Town Stadium tonight.
either.
Back home in England, as the excitement builds, one 10-year-old boy has taken his love of the game a little too far. Tom Sylvester chose to go bald before his years to look like his hero Sven.
There's quite a lot of people in the school who dress up as David Beckham, and I thought Sven would be different. Because when I first had it done, it was almost bald, and I thought everyone would laugh at me. But it haven't, they've started liking it.